What's up, y'all? It's Joy in the house. Welcome to the Bronze Room. I have my wonderful self here today, and I have my handsome co host, Chris. Come and step up in the building, Chris. Say what's up.
Blacksmiths, how we doing out there? Hey, I'm glad that we are finally back.
We're here.
Can
It
y'all hear
feels
me?
good.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blacksmith, how y'all doing out there? Glad to be back. It's been a couple of weeks since our last episode, but it feels good to be back home. And
Yeah.
let me welcome all y'all into the door and on into the living room of the Bronze Room.
Yes.
Um,
I'm so happy to see you, Chris.
yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm glad that you're doing good and doing well, and we ready to get it. Let's go.
Let's go. What's
Let's go.
up? Let's
So
talk about this day.
what we got going on today? Today is October 16th, 2022, and we got a couple of things that happened on this day in history. Joy, why don't you introduce us to the first incident or topic event
Okay, so
that
is
happened?
that our John Carlos?
John Carlos.
Yes, after he ran that 200-meter dash, is that what that is? In the
200 meter.
yes, in the Mexico City Olympics, he represented
1968.
for what year was that? 1988?
1968.
1968.
Yeah.
He had a love for Black people and the Black culture, and he really revered us. And he felt like we were underrepresented. And when he made his mark, he made sure that when he stood up on that podium, on that stage, that he represented and gave his representation to Black people with that powerful Black fist.
Right. Yeah, him and not only Tommy Smith, or not only John Carlos, but Tommy Smith as well. They won the bronze and the gold medals that year in the 200
Yes.
meter sprint. And on the podium, they put up that black fist, as Joy said, and represented for all the people back home. For all the blacksmiths. You feel me?
And that's very
They
powerful
doing
too, just even looking at the picture itself, just the way they stood there with just the power that they had, after you figure after a run and after you've been doing all that, but it's like just to stand there with that victory and it just feels like it's like this was for y'all, this was for us.
right.
I read
Right.
that John Carlos used to wear black socks in actually, let me make sure. I believe it was the black socks. I don't want to flip and leave from y'all,
Was it
but
black socks or no socks?
maybe it was no socks with the black shoes and representation for the Black people who suffered in poverty, for Black poverty. He did it in representation, and that's all he wore. Um, maybe you. I don't want to flip from this, but I
Yeah.
thought that that was amazing. I thought that that was powerful. Me and a close friend of mine, it's so funny. We were talking, and he was saying, he was like, what times would you have wanted to grow up if you could like go back, if you could be born in a different time? And me and him, other friends said like the 90s, they were thinking fashion, but we were thinking 60s and 70s. Just that's when people were more united of
Yeah,
color.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Something got lost in between, then and now. What exactly it was, or what was introduced that made us lose that cohesive unity? That's
Yeah.
a mystery. There's lots of different factors, but man, I do admire your courage for wanting to go back to that time period because hot damn, it was a
It was
completely
rough.
different
No,
world
it
back
was
then,
really
Joy.
hard.
You
Yeah,
know what you
60s and
asking for?
70s. But I feel like it made people more united and not
Yeah,
just Black people.
yeah, no,
Anybody of color was a little bit more in sync with each other in the marketplace when you're out on the street, but especially us just looking out. I remember my mom telling me stories about how she'd do something, she would get a whipping from the neighbor. You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying?
right,
A family see you in there, but not only that, just knowing that you have that camaraderie just from someone else who just knows the struggle of looking like you. So I just feel like that's something so powerful to use somebody like these gentlemen who they're celebrating this, but they're also wanting to celebrate us, feel like
yeah,
yeah.
100%. And not only celebrate us, but they were those black fists went into the air to make a statement about the issues that we were still facing. This was a couple of years after the Civil Rights Act had been passed. And so whenever there is a victory in terms of equality, there seems to be a feeling of, okay, fine, are you happy now? You know what I mean? That type
Right.
of thing on the other side. And so the answer to that is fuck no, we ain't happy yet, because motherfuckers is still going
Right.
through shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like no, and so because of that, that dynamic, these people were still Tommy Smith and John Carlos were still representing in terms of the ground that was left to be made up.
Yeah.
There was still meat on the bone in terms of equality, justice, and even today there still is a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's kind of just wild that these guys were going through so much scrutiny and so much condemnation for doing such to me, is such a benign thing. You know
Like
what I mean?
Colin Kaepernick, right? When
Yeah,
he kneeled, the
exactly,
very
exactly,
polite, passive way of saying, "Hey,
exactly.
this is for my." I didn't see nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So
And,
yeah,
and who would? And this goes back to my argument, you know what I mean? Like white supremacy is nothing but white fragility. You got to
yeah,
have a fragile ass spirit and a fragile sense of comfort or peace within yourself to be that upset over such an innocuous uh, statement.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
not like you would have thought we was taking to the streets and shooting people up and shit. Like what these people are putting fists in the air. Is that
yeah.
we acting like somebody's pushing the button for a nuclear missile or something like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
This dude
Was
took a
so
knee on the
powerful.
ground and people just lost their minds. So the fragility of the white establishment is it's very interesting to me, because it's guys that supremacy, when in general it's really very fragile.
It's not
Very fragile.
supremacy.
Very,
Right.
very brittle.
Right. Right. Exactly. Can easily be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And just the power behind it, because not even words, you have all these
Right.
movements that have went off, and people have written a lot of words on signs to convey how they feel, or we protest, or you've had people who have taken their anger out, not the best ways, maybe looting and stealing and breaking things. But then you have powerful things like dignified men standing with a fist in their hand, or you have this man or these men and women who decide to kneel
Right.
and
Right.
breaks
Mm.
everything.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's more of a threat, because you're now waking people's consciousness. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know,
Yeah.
when you step outside the box, you threaten you threaten the status quo. You
You
know,
do. Yeah.
in this society, they want things in a neat box so that they can control you within that box. Once you go outside of those lines, they got a lot less grasp on your individuality, a lot less grasp on your spirit, a lot less grasp on the power that you guys have collectively when you all think outside the box. It takes many
Right.
people thinking outside the box, and that's what they don't want.
Right. Yeah, we got to redraw this box. And no, those are one of the ways that you do it. And and Blacksmiths, while we're talking about that, I do want to, for anyone that has ever felt like maybe you hold some kind of resentment inside, or pain or anger, I think we all do from what we've been through. These men are examples of ways that you can do it without speech. Well, I think we often do it through different ways. Like I've said, there's different ways of being revolutionary. You can plant a garden, take care of yourself. Yes. Wow. Just
Yeah,
looking at
I
that,
agree.
kneeling fiercely debated in the NFL resonates in protests.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a ripple that will create a wave if given the opportunity, and that's why
Like,
they
who
shut
would have
it
thought?
down so quickly.
Look at
You know?
him. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, but it's
Pretty wild.
powerful. You can feel the
Super
power
powerful.
in it. Yeah.
100%. 100%. 100%. I need to go ahead and get me a Kaepernick jersey. Matter of fact, I'm fucking around and
Wait,
I need
right.
to. I'm tripping. I'm
Let me
tripping.
make my little Maya jersey dress, my little.
Yeah, man. But it's crazy because they ended up the consequences of doing this.
Mhm.
Like Kaepernick was kicked out of the NFL, essentially blackballed. Um,
Right.
they essentially expelled them from the American track team. They were kicked off that Olympic team, you know, and then
Really?
they were kicked off, and then they were ordered to leave the stadium after they got off the podium. Like it
Wow.
was that serious. It was that serious.
That's
And so, and what they were doing, all they were doing was protesting within the context of the Vietnam War. They were anti
mm,
Vietnam War, which and so and one of my favorite sayings as of late is that what the difference between a radical and the difference between a radical individual and like the norm is just a matter of time. You know what I
mm,
mean? So
mhm.
these people were radical for opposing the Vietnam War. 6 years later, in 1972, we're leaving the Vietnam War, and everybody agreeing, like, yeah, we shouldn't have been there.
Right.
But meanwhile, these men were
Right.
punished for having that opinion 6 years prior.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, and the same shit with Kaepernick. Kaepernick started all that shit before George Floyd. He started all that shit before,
Right. This
you
was way
know,
before all of that.
and
Yeah.
now that we've come to light to know, like, oh yeah, things are pretty fucked up in terms of police violence and stuff. This man was talking about this 6 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was talking
Right.
about this 6 years ago, and he was punished for it. And now
Right.
we all come to a collective agreement. Now, what they got in the NFL in the end zones, what they have spray painted, they got signs that say "End Racism," because they
Wow.
acknowledge that this is an issue. But who brought that to the forefront of the discussion or the conversation? It
Right.
was Colin
Because it
Kaepernick.
wasn't them. It wasn't the leaders. It wasn't the owners. They actually punished this man, condemned this man, condemned
Yeah,
it and condemned anyone else, punished anyone else who decided to even go in that,
yeah. Eric
but
Reed was one of Colin Kaepernick's teammates who took up the same stance, and his career was ended as well.
it should have been 100 of us. That's what you were saying about us coloring, or not coloring, but I always think of coloring outside the lines, but us going outside of the box. It takes more than one person kneeling. You don't even have to go result towards violence or any of that. But if you stand in solidarity,
Yeah, solidarity is a powerful force, and it's one of the reasons. It was my biggest criticism about all the shit that happened in 2020. If you
yeah.
recall, in 2020, I think the NBA suspended their season for, I don't know, a number
Oh yeah, it
of
was a
weeks
lot.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was the players. The players had refused to play. I think after
Because of the vaccine, right? Was it because they were trying?
Nah, it didn't have anything to do with the vaccine. It was in
Oh, okay.
2020. I want to say it was in like July of 2020. It might have been June. It was
Mhm.
it was probably during the finals, or I want to say it was during the playoffs of that year. And they had refused to play because there was something that happened in Milwaukee,
Mm.
because it was the Milwaukee Bucks that were playing that night.
Oh, it
They
was a
refused to
protest
go
of
out.
George Floyd.
Was it
Okay.
was it George Floyd or but
Mhm.
George Floyd happened in May. That's why I'm kind of like, what, it had
Oh,
to be something else. But whatever the event was, they protested. They refused to play.
mhm.
In my perspective, my opinion, that's when we should have really bound up and or went hand in hand in
Yeah,
solidarity and not played at all until some shit changed.
right,
You know what I
and
mean?
that would have been a
I'm
chance
talking
to
about
create your own.
Exactly. I'm
We
talking
could have
about
already
across
had
all the
invested.
sports. I'm talking about across
Yeah,
all the athletics. I'm talking about across all the entertainment. That
all
was our moment
professions.
to
Yeah,
lock shit down for a major change. Not just like
yeah,
these like symbolic gestures. I'm talking about real
right,
change. Because if
right,
we actually did that, we could demand some shit to happen. Or
exactly.
or, or
No,
or
you're
die
right.
trying. You know what I
No,
mean?
you're
Like,
right. How are you asking for reparations, but you're
exactly.
still
You're
eating
still
from that hand? You're still giving.
exactly,
You're paying
exactly,
taxes to it. We have
exactly.
to literally have our own economic circle of circulating things, our own, even if it's not anything that, like what you said, like your own band, that would have been our chance to separate professions, especially with the media and the sports, because that's where we dominate.
Well, I mean, and that's I don't know what the end result of it would have been. It could have been creating our own league, which I'm for sure in favor of. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if nothing else, it's just it's like a blockade. So in war, you create a blockade, or at least they used to, around a
Oh,
country's borders.
I see. Yeah.
Therefore, as long as that blockade is there, they're going to be economically shut off from imports, from supplies, from all that shit,
Right.
from anything that your lifelines will start to dry up.
Right.
And so, as far as us boycotting boycotting, we could have boycotted as far as the players,
Segregated.
as far as the players not participating and shutting down their money. You hit them where their money is.
Yeah.
That's when you can really make demands.
Money talks.
And
Yeah.
I guess the criticism against that is, well, the NBA and the NFL, they don't determine legislation, which is true. They're not the people in government that determine legislation, but I know that they affect the people who will do determine legislation.
Oh, they do. It actually does.
Contributions and donations, whatnot, all the taxes that are garnered from the NFL, the NBA, all these other sports leagues. Like, once you take grasp of an industry like that, you know what I mean? It not only sends a powerful message, but it literally, physically, monetarily affects people's pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if we had solidarity, we could easily demand some change, easily, without a doubt. But because we're not all on the same page and all on the same wavelength in terms of like needing to have change. I think once you make it to a certain status, entertainers and athletes, once they make it to a certain level, you kind of forget about all the struggles that people are going through. You forget about your own struggles that you went through, or at least you separated from the masses. It's bigger than just me as an individual, you as an individual. It's about our people. You know what I mean? And so people lose sight of that once you get to a certain upper echelon of status, and that's it's a big factor in terms of why we're not getting as far as we should be.
I literally, everything you said, you just spoke my heart. I 100% agree with all of that. Like, until we get there, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, and just to circle back towards why Tommy Smith and John Carlos did this, they not only did it to protest the Vietnam War, which they turned out to be right about. It was a losing war, but they were also protesting poverty in the Black community, which is why John Carlos was making his statement by not wearing shoes. I looked it up. He wore black socks, no shoes, to make a statement against Black poverty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean,
he was selfless for that. That's powerful. Giving yourself that reminder. I think those people are beautiful, and they deserve their flowers. And I feel like it's such a blessing that I could be a part of the Bronze Room and talk about things like this and give people like this their flowers for representing, and just knowing that it didn't go in vain. You know what I mean? Because now we throw up that black fist. We use it in emojis all the time. I'm not saying they invented that, but that's something that we're big on. You know what I mean? And it's such a powerful statement. Even just looking at how people represent themselves and throw that fist up now, you know what I'm saying? You can tell who's for real about it and who's not. Look how powerful that fist is.
Yeah.
How the way it's standing up. I see people doing this now. Put your hand up, put your fist up. Be proud about who you are. Represent, because that fist means one.
Right.
That's 5 fingers, and you put it together, and that's one.
Yeah.
You can do something with that.
with these 5 fingers individually, they can't do much. But when you bind them together, it's a
Yes.
powerful force.
Because each finger is powerful, seriously. Even the
Yeah,
pinky
even on
alone is
strong.
responsible for doing so much with the wrist. If you take away the pinky, all of these fingers have important roles. And so we still make a dent in the community. But if we come together dense and
Right.
as one,
We knocking niggas out.
it literally,
You know what I mean?
okay? Seriously. And there's different ways to do it, like how these men did it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But once you get people riled up, because this statement is not saying I just represent who I represent, it's also saying you don't have my mind.
Right. Right. Which is the biggest thing. Once they get your mind, they got you. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the biggest
You
thing
know,
about
once they put that
incarceration.
Gucci cell out and they see you running and they see them, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was on this day that we had these brothers
Yeah.
make such a powerful statement that is now felt even today. And on the other year, in another year, 1901 specifically, October 16th, Booker T. Washington was invited to the White House by Theodore Roosevelt. Now, this was, I guess, this period would be considered right after Reconstruction. And during Reconstruction, as most of us and many of us know, there was a big resurgence or a takeoff in Black success. You know, this was the first generation that was really freed, truly free citizens of the United States and stuff. So, you know, back then they were able to acquire some political seats in some states, in some congressional states. And we were able to amass some wealth, buy property, etc., start businesses. As we know, Madam C.J. Walker, her business was taken off around this time. There's lots of other different examples. But because of the backlash that the White House received after inviting Booker T. Washington to, to come have dinner with Theodore Roosevelt, the South, they made it known that they were not in favor of this. They condemned the White House, and as a result, the White House did not have another Black guest for 30 more years. They it shook them up so much that they were like, "Hey, okay, we can't have you niggas in the White House no more for some
Wow,
reason."
we so powerful.
Right. It caused this huge uproar, and when you consider that this was in 1901, just a few short years later, they were showing Birth of a Nation in that White House. So it kind of it puts in perspective that, you know, even when there were individuals, because that's kind of the argument that a lot of white people pose in terms of racism and the systemic nature of it in this country over the years, is that, like, well, all white people didn't do that, you know what I mean? Like, we weren't all responsible for that, which is true, and in terms of making the laws that determined it.
Right.
But in terms of the statement that is made when there is an uproar by people having a brother in the White House, you know what I mean? Everybody follows suit. Everybody falls in line with the loudest voices in the room. So even if you don't agree with that, the fact that culturally speaking, you can't even have a Black dude in the White House without it causing a huge uproar. And then the next year or the following years, you're showing racist propaganda in that movie, Birth of a Nation. I think it was Woodrow Wilson who showed that, and that whole movie, it won hella Emmys or nominations and awards and whatnot. But that whole movie, the premise of it was the Ku Klux Klan essentially having a mission to protect their white women from, I guess, two Black men that assaulted some white woman in one of their communities. That's the whole premise of that movie. So it's racist propaganda, and it's at its root, at its core. And they were showing that in the White House just a number of years after inviting this prominent Black man, Booker T. Washington, to eat dinner with the president. So, even when there were efforts to kind of create some sense or semblance of equality, the masses were against it. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
never been a genuine thing. Anytime there is any kind of um, respect or connection with us, it's always based on a surface, shallow level. Like you said, it's just something, just, oh, okay, just symbolically, okay, just like they give you a day like a Martin Luther King Day. And I've
Juneteenth.
always said this, because there are people who are like, well, I'm not my family, or I'm not those people who did that. Okay, but you literally thrive. You are able to thrive from my oppression. And you know that because the race is not set up evenly. And you can see it and you know it, because if we did things from a really, really fair perspective, literally, actually, no one would really be able to survive on earth but us, because we are the ones who are able to, we are best suited in nature. We see the colors better, we handle life better, we understand science, mathematics, metaphysics, biochemics, all of that, just on a better level in general. We're superior in that sense. And the fragility of it, they can't handle that. So you invite these two prestigious, dignified Black royalties into this White House, but you feel uncomfortable because it was a power move. That just inviting them, merely inviting them, then nothing happened, wasn't no fight. They wasn't disrespectful. Didn't nobody have sex with nobody's woman. Just the fact that they were there. That says a lot. That says a lot about the mental retardation that's behind white supremacy, and it also says a lot about the power that we hold. Because we still shouldn't even be in those situations where it was the first Black, or this was the first time. My grandma was born in 1901.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
only a generation away. My grandmother was
Right.
born in 1901.
Right.
That's around
It
the
wasn't
corner.
right. It wasn't very long ago. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of a lot of things that a lot of atrocious things that happened then were not very. Whenever then was, it could be 100 years ago, would take that long ago. It could be 50 years ago, would take that long ago.
Right,
It could be 20
right.
years ago. It could be
Okay.
should have still happening today. So
Yeah.
as far as making that argument like, oh, it was 100 years ago, get over it. Like, nah, we ain't getting over that, bruh. We want this money.
Yeah, we're
I want
still
my
having the
reparations.
effects.
I'm never gonna shut up about reparations. I hope this conversation stays lit forever.
Oh no,
Till we
it's
get
gonna stay
paid.
lit
You know what I
forever.
mean?
It's going to
You know what I
happen
mean?
whether they relinquish it. The thing is, and especially blacksmiths need to understand this, is any type of party in control is never going to just relinquish that control. You can't say,
Yeah.
because this is fair, I deserve this. No, if you feel like you deserve it, you have to take it by
Yeah,
any
that's true.
means necessary. And
That's true.
there's a way
Very
that
true.
we can do it. Just the same way the pyramids were built and they asses can't figure it out. We can literally slide this shit from their ass like a magic carpet. And it's really simple how to do it, but you can't play with their kind of fire because they cheat. They cheat. You got to go and do it a different way, and you can't ask. Because if we really got back all the reparations that we deserve, honestly, the reparations could not, there is no amount of money that you can pay even
Very,
a
very true.
single Black person
Very
for
true.
all the lives murdered, all the souls stolen,
Yeah,
all the, just
honestly.
like the lizard bitch
Mhm.
who got all those ancient jewels on that crown. Give us back that motherfucking crown. But that don't even mean anything. Y'all all need to just go on
Yeah.
ahead and hang yourselves from fucking trees, because you have killed so many generations, and just of what we know of. We're not even talking about the Black people whose stories have not even been told, because they
Right.
still don't
Right.
even know how that person died heinously,
Yeah.
what you did to them. So no, when we talk about reparations, I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about, I don't even give a damn if somebody run over your little baby. If that baby don't
Oh
look like
man.
me, I don't care.
Oh God.
Because listen, I don't, because they've taken so many children, not even just in the sense of just like like I said, the reparations go back so far because it's not even just taking lives and capitalizing. What about all the children that have suffered iron deficiencies and retardations because they haven't had the proper nutrients? The children that have been in foster care because of the systemic racism. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it goes deep. It goes deep. The debt
Yeah.
that is owed to us, it goes extremely deep.
So y'all parents would have to get hooked on drugs, you know what I'm saying? They got to get ran over by cars and tied to horses and split up. They got to get hung from trees, you know what I'm saying? I want it all. And that's not me even thinking sick, because and just like Celie said from The Color Purple, everything you done unto me, already done unto you. And until you do right by me, your life is going to be in shambles. So they always going to be figuring out ways to oppress us because they low key always running from our superiority.
Well, and if you subscribe to the same belief systems that I subscribe to, the one I'm talking about specifically now being karma. You know what I mean? Like, and just the universe in general, you know what I mean? What you put out is what's going to end up returning to you. That's karma in general. You know, that retribution will be paid, you know what I mean? Whether it is in a monetary form or not, you know, that's inevitable. You know what I mean? That's just how the universe works. And you could argue that it's already starting to take place in certain ways. But yeah, I feel you on the sense that the monetary aspect of it won't truly do justice. How much money is one person? If, for instance, if a loved one of yours was killed unjustly or whatever, how much money is really going to right that wrong? You know what I mean? No money in the world can bring somebody back from the dead. So you're right.
Yeah, it's not just monetary, it's everything. Because look, we know of our people dying now, but me and you and LJ and every other blacksmith tuned into here knows that we have somebody for sure, no matter what, somebody in our family, multiple people in our family were murdered by Caucasian or Europeans. Yeah. And it's in our bloodline. So we're seeing it, we see the trauma today, but it's also multiple people in our bloodlines who have still been murdered. There's no reparation monetarily that can make up for all of that. It can only pay a portion, and I'll take that. Like I said, give me my gold, give me my silver. I need y'all to go into the mines. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather died from complications from black lung because he mined. Right. He mined. He didn't do it because it was like his dream goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. Somebody calculated all the monetary amount that would be considered compensatory, and they arrived. I'm trying to remember the interview that I was watching.
They didn't have no number.
It was a clip. It might have been from who was it? It was somebody of prominence. You know what I mean? Like, they knew what they was talking about, and they said that the number came out to roughly $50 to $52 trillion of retribution.
It's in the quads.
Now I don't know how much our GDP is as a nation, but I do know that we are $30 trillion in debt as it is right now.
Well, how they still suing people? How Cardi B suing Tasha K for $4 million, and how these people?
Well, I mean, people's private funds, their private worth is separate from the nation's.
I see. Got it. I mean? Yeah.
If they want to go in everybody's pocket and take that and use that to pay off the debt, they could do that, but then that would be very anti-constitutional. Which is what
I mean, they already kind of doing it anyway.
Yeah, 100%. But like, you know, in legalese, they can't do that. But yeah, we're 30.
My mama wanted to jump in and add something too to this. I mean,
come on, Mama Joy.
Come on in, girl. Bring a chair. Okay, you know, she's this is my co-host, Chris. Hi,
Hey, how you doing?
You're live. Just let you know.
Oh God, people can see me.
Hi
guys.
Say hello to the Blacksmiths. Y'all look just alike.
Say hi to the Blacksmiths.
Oh, hello to the Blacksmiths.
Y'all look just alike. That's
my
a
baby.
beautiful sight. That's awesome.
You know, I was just listening to y'all conversation, and you know, when you speak about racism, you know, I was born in 1959. I was in the 3rd grade when Martin Luther King was assassinated. We was in the assembly room for some stupid mess, and then they just announced that Martin Luther King was dead, and then they went on with the rest of their program. There was nothing else done for it.
Wow.
At that time in the 3rd grade, I had just been bused.
That's crazy.
My first grade year in elementary school was an all-black school. Everybody in there looked just like me, you know, and it was great. The 1st and 2nd grade, I was there. The 3rd grade is when they started integration, and they bused me to this school called Forest Park. That's where the school I was going to when Martin Luther King was assassinated. And I think I told you about this, Heather. There were 2 little boys in this class. I never will forget their names. Little white boys, one with blonde hair. His name was Dennis Harry. His little friend's name was James Arnold. And I had to sit by them. They stuck me with a straightening pen. I complained to the teacher. Oh, nothing, you know, nothing was believed. The next year, I got bused to another school because they're trying to put us everywhere instead of leaving us in the community that we were in. And they were dividing the Black people. So I got bused for the 4th grade. I stayed in the 4th grade elementary school for 2 years. Then I got bused again for the 6th grade. So any type of camaraderie or friends or relationships that you built, they were gone because we were bused all over the place. Because at that point, they were trying to appease something. I don't know what it was. But can you also imagine as an adult when you grow up and you're going for a job, and then the white man, Mighty Whitey, tells you, if you were a darker skinned Black, you wouldn't get this job, but we're going to hire you because you're light.
They told you that to your face?
Because you have to understand, that's the time it was. And what do? You take the job because you need a job. To be in this interview, I'm more than qualified. So, but if I had been a shade darker, they wouldn't have hired me. You know, just like they used to do kids in school with the brown paper bag test. You heard of that, right?
I've heard of that as it relates to Howard University. I think they wouldn't let people.
No, they did it to us in elementary school. That you had to. I was okay because of my skin color. But kids, your color and darker, you didn't fit the paper bag test when you went into the class.
So you couldn't like eat lunch with a certain group or something or what?
Right. Just like, you know, a lot of people don't know about, even I'm going off subject a little bit, with the Charlie Brown characters. The man wrote the little Black kid in the script, but if you ever go back and look at Peanuts, if you ever go back and look at that, you'll see that little Black kid is always, he's with them, but he's not. He's at the table with them, but he's not. He's all off to himself. So the racism, it goes back and it comes back at us in different forms. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of Black people, like the celebrities that you guys were talking about, they feel like they've made it, so they're beyond racism. Just like we talked about, O.J. Simpson wasn't Black till he killed that white woman.
Right.
You know, he was running through the airport, you know, for hurts and doing all that. And when that white woman and her lover died, then he was a black man.
Then he wanted that support, right?
He was a black man. But the whole thing with racism and Mighty Whitey is over the years since I was born, since I grew up, like I said, a lot of the celebrities don't recognize it because they're up here. They have that money, but it still exists for us and it exists for them. They just don't see it because their wealth has put them in another category. So when you, like where I live here, it's funny, I tell Heather this all the time. I live in a white community. And I go walking every day.
Like, hi, neighbor.
Yeah. So I made a little video that I have perfected the white wave. How you doing?
Princess Diana wave.
Yeah, I perfected that wave.
That's
okay.
Funny.
But because I'm passing so many of them when I'm walking, when I pass our people when I'm walking, they turn their nose up at me. They don't even, and it's like, dude, we live here in the same community. We should bond. I'm taking my daughter to a concert down at the center where I live, and I told her it's for like women of Motown. It's a tribute. I went to a tribute for the Temptations down there. The room holds 300 people. I was one of 4 blacks that attended, and it is going to be that way today. The thing is, as a people, we need to unite. It's one thing to talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk. When you get these so-called black leaders that are out here saying that, oh, we got to do this and we got to do that. I don't know if Heather told you what I used to do for a living. Did you tell me?
Yeah, they know.
Okay. When I'm
to another segment too.
Oh, okay. I'm getting ready to go away. But I just wanted to give you my little input as somebody that was born in 1959. And that was just a small snap of the things that I went through as a black person, as a black woman, as a woman in the 2000s being a police officer. And every time I would go for a promotion, I wear my hair like this all the time. But every time I went for a promotion, I had to blow out my hair,
right,
wear it slick back so I can look European. And if you tell me that ain't a damn shame, and that's in 2000, that's now. I just retired 2 years ago, and I still had to project that European image.
Right.
And until we get up and say, you know, because there are only 200 black females with Los Angeles Police Department. There are 9,500 police officers. So it's only 200 black females. Instead of coming together and uniting and say, okay, I'm not gonna have this shit. I'm not gonna have to take my natural look down so I can look. So when I go sit in front of this white lieutenant or whatever to try to get a promotion,
right,
I got to make myself look what he thinks is presentable.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gone now.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you
that
for
with us.
letting me.
Yeah,
I'm not going to interrupt. I'm going to look at.
No, we appreciate your perspective and insight. That insight more than anything, being from an older generation. You know what I mean? Like, we need that context for sure. So it's much appreciated.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Nice meeting you. Bye.
Yeah, that last part really strikes a chord with me in terms of just frustration because of I think they just passed some type of legislation or something where they said that there was a movement a few years ago that entailed them. I think it was here in California. Matter of fact, it was legislation that said like you can wear your hairstyle you can wear your hair naturally in the workplace without fear of being discriminated against. And that just barely passed a couple of years ago. where for decades now, almost, coming up on a century, not too long from now, like you had to whitewash yourself in order to
I ain't never did that
have an
shit though.
appointment.
I
You know
always
what I mean?
stepped in with my afro.
I mean,
But no, I know what you mean.
sometimes-
No, I know. No, I have, but I also had, they hired me because I was good for the job, but I got under them bitches' skin who didn't have hair like me. But you best believe I wore my shit. Y'all gonna
yeah.
see this because y'all not gonna. I had somebody ask me, why don't you wear your hair down? Bitches down.
Mhm.
This is it. It defies gravity.
Right.
Yeah, they
That-
still passing laws for this, and it's crazy.
yeah. So something about that just it really just resonates because it really sends a message. A lot of this world, this society is all about messaging at the end of the day. It could be one thing in the tangible, but in the abstract, it sends a whole nother wave of messaging that can be for or against your benefit. And
Yeah,
so, in the terms of workplace, what do you associate workplace with now, or at least employment, or surviving, or just being, just earning your way through life, right? When you associate it with whiteness, because you associate your job with anti-black, because you cannot present yourself naturally in that workplace.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
sends waves about, well, okay, at the end of the day, it's like blackness equals being unemployed or broke.
Right.
Whiteness equals wealth, money, etc. It's just
Yeah,
the messaging that comes with that is powerful. And
yeah.
so that really gets under my skin. But that's just one piece of the puzzle in terms of all the stuff that we've been dealing with in this country for ever since the country was founded. But
Yeah.
we digress.
I know, yeah.
We digress. Let's get into the topics for today, which
My
which
mom kind
are
of
very.
touched on some of them though. When she was
What was
talking
that?
about the Black celebrities, I was
Well, yeah,
thinking of a
exactly.
couple people,
Yep. Yeah. No, she touched on things
how they
that we.
forget when they get that wealth. Is that who
Yeah.
you was leading to?
Yeah. I think that's a perfect segue. I
Yeah,
think that's a
Kanye
perfect
and
segue. Kanye
Kundis,
and
Kundace,
Candace Owens.
Kundace owes us.
So we had our boy. We were just talking about this man a couple
Yo, boy.
of weeks ago, and and he's in the news again. Kanye West at a fashion show, or I don't know what the hell the event was, but it was at a fashion centric event. I think it was for what his clothing line.
Yeah, it
Right?
is for his clothing line. I think it was like a little runway show for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was there with, I guess, a friend of his, Candace Owens, and they both were wearing White Lives Matters sweaters. And it set the internet on fire.
It
People
did.
lost their motherfucking minds over this. To me, I'm pretty indifferent at this point to anything that Kanye does, although I still recognize and acknowledge the impact that it has on the community at large, which we talked about a few episodes ago. But in terms of me really taking anything he does into consideration, I don't. And so this kind of went over my head a little bit. I really didn't pay much mind to it at all. But it did upset a lot of people. And Joy, yeah, how'd you feel about it?
It didn't upset me in the sense where I give him power because I'm not surprised at this point. He's done a few things that have let me know that he is not mentally capable of holding any kind of leadership when it comes to Black people. Now, I understand freedom of speech. So say what you want to say and do what you want to say. But nigga, you standing by yourself and you do not have my support no longer. When these industries, when these European corporations start fucking your ass over, which they already definitely hitting it from the back with a spiked dick. But when they start really, really going in, please don't look to none of us. He had lost me a little bit with the slavery as a choice word combo, but I understood it in the context that it really truly was initially. I'll say that. And I do agree in some sense that it still is, because what it really takes is for Black people to stop being mentally lazy to get up out of this and come together. However, he is not a Black leader to me. And I don't think he's proclaimed to be one, but I feel
think
like
he actually is, because he ran
ew.
for president. No, I don't think he
Oh,
is a
you know
leader.
what he did.
No,
You
but
know
I
what
think
he
I think
did.
he
And he
sees
definitely couldn't
himself
get my
as that.
vote.
I
You
think he
ain't
sees
getting my
himself as that.
vote. You can't even
Yeah.
talk right with the grill in your mouth. Nah, you ain't getting my vote, bro. You don't even read. I need a man that reads to know what the fuck he getting the country into. Nah, dog, we good on you.
Yeah.
My thing is, I adore his music, his older music, and I think that he is a creative genius. Keyword in front of it, the adjective in front of it, creative genius. Genius alone, we can
Yeah.
stop it right there, because
Yeah.
you are not representing us in any kind of positive light. If you really wanted to make a statement, then put all lives matter on the fucking shit. But you're gonna put on a black shirt, you're gonna put white lives matter, knowing, and you know the power of vibration, the power of words.
You know what?
Being
I'm
an
gonna have to
artist.
disagree. I now, if he would have put all lives matters, I think I would have been upset about that more so than the white lives
I
matter.
could see the sarcasm more in that though, in White Lives Matter, because so many people
Exactly.
rebutted back with that. That's why I say
Exactly.
that. Put all lives matter and put it in all colors. Let's make it LGBTQ2A, whatever. Let's
Right.
add it. Let's put a 2.0 to it if you want to go on ahead and do that. But you did that shit. It's like, dude, I don't know what type of fucking enzymes Kim got in that coochie, but she got all y'all niggas messed up. And then him and Ray J, and then it's funny, they posted up a picture on the Black Media page showing both of them had that platinum, dry, blonde ass, yucky hair. Yeah, there it is. Look,
Yeah.
look at what the.
So, I mean, now, have you heard about what was his attempt at saying? Was there an intention behind the shirt? Have you heard any commentary on that?
From him, no. I've read things, but he never has really come up with a direct reason or
He hasn't come
answer
out to
as to
explain himself.
why. All that talking that he still ain't came up with no reason why. But we all know the reason why. It was just a dumbass move. It's just niggas with money and don't know what to do with your money, and you think that you doing something because you think you so smart, but you not. Type shit.
Yeah.
That's my answer for that.
Now, I did hear something about, I don't know if it was in our conversation, our personal conversation, or somebody that I was conversating with earlier. I think it was what we were talking about before coming on live, that Kanye has, he was alluding to the mass shootings taking place in the country and how many people that's taken out versus something that's going on specifically in Chicago.
Oh, okay. About the rate of children being murdered, or like the Black lives being taken in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
was this a statement in order to redirect the focus on that? Was it really a strategic move on his part to do that? And if it was, has it been effective? Are we talking about the Black lives being lost in Chicago?
Let me put it this way. He hasn't said it enough where it's circulating in media. And I know that we take the good and we'll take the bad out of things first. But like I said, we have somebody like Tupac, and, LJ was saying this, yes, that people use their platforms in different ways, but at least you knew for sure what the fuck Tupac stood for. You knew he loved Black people. He was for us. Right. Kanye, you got people calling him Kanye. You got people calling him Kanye. You got people who think what he's saying. You got people. So yeah, it's an art, and like any type of art, it's lost for interpretation. But let me say this, it is still at our expense, because many people are defending what he's saying, including these fake woke Black pages that are like, y'all don't understand. He got his commerce together and he got his own church and he's making power moves, but power moves for him, because we still slaves every single day. Ain't nothing that he said stop any type of shooting in Chicago. At least Tupac was putting dents in the community. You know what I'm saying? Shaking these niggas up. Kanye does not shake anybody up in the sense that he provokes thought, but not enough thought where he has something backing behind it. There's nothing going on. He hasn't done anything to this but distress more Black people. They want to say Black Lives Matter was a scam. Well, duh, we all knew that. Those of us who read, okay, you're putting that to light, but can we talk about the biggest scam in the world, Black people being oppressed? Why are we talking about Black Lives Matter being a scam, and we've been getting scammed our whole fucking life as foundational Black Americans who built this shit on our backs? And you want to talk about the 2 lesbo queens that lived up in a mansion and took the Black Lives Matter? That was y'all who gave y'all money to that shit. I didn't give my money to it, and neither did I protest, because I was smart enough to know that don't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? I kept my Black dollars and I put them to my own Black business, which was me, my health. To live through the pandemic, for my health, for my elderberry syrup, for my socks, you know what I'm saying? For my people directly, go into my community directly. Y'all want to talk Black Lives Matter is a scam? No, y'all are scams as celebrities.
Very true.
So you want to bring that to light and put a documentary where you want us to pay for your cheesy ass fucking self-centered ass documentary about you exposing this shit. But what the fuck are you really doing for the community? Kanye, Candace, what y'all doing for the community for real?
So what you're referring to with that last statement is Candace Owens' latest documentary exposing the Black Lives Matter organization, and how the funds may or may not be going towards what they say the funds are going towards. There's been a lot of scrutiny on one of the former leaders. I think she's now a former leader of the CEO or president. I'm not sure what
I don't know what the hell them bitches was.
But she apparently has a very, very expensive house somewhere out here in California.
Nice. I saw it. And, it's cute. It's real
cute. She bought it last year, and a lot of local chapters around the country of Black Lives Matter have said that they have not gotten any funds from the umbrella company. Although in 2020 they received $90 million in donations.
Damn.
So it don't look good on that front, and which alludes to your point earlier, which I can't blame people for not knowing that. I won't go as far as to say that, but people who knew that what I'm saying, like, this company or this organization is not all up and up. With
it's owned by a white man.
Well, yeah, but regardless of if you knew that or not, to have a company that is so synonymous with the movement, doing dirt like this, it really hurts the fucking movement, man. It really
does, but
you know what I mean? Like,
and it's good to expose it, but I don't like the way they exposed it. Maybe people did need to know about that, and maybe because Black people are still putting their money towards it, so maybe it is in a sense there is good coming out of it. I don't agree with the way that they brought it to light. I don't. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own shit, but they're already both known for being coons. You know what I'm saying? And they are, even though they're intelligent people, both of those people are coons. I wouldn't trust them with even 1.2% of my fucking life.
Right.
If they said, I'm going to the store, do you want me to get something for you? No, Candace, I don't trust you. No, Kanye, I don't trust you. You're all for yourself. You don't care about Black people. They don't care about us. That's my whole point.
Yeah, it's a case of
the
right message. It's the right message, just the wrong messenger. You know what
completely
I mean?
The wrong messengers.
You don't go to the boy who cried wolf to disseminate like some real important shit. Like, people don't trust that person anymore.
Yeah, you know, like there's a reason why you wasn't president, and you'll never be president, because you don't care about nobody but yourself, Kanye. Yeah. He does not care about Black people. He don't even give a damn about Chicago. He only care about Chicago because he's from there, and it involves him. That's the only reason why.
You might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, he don't care about people, so why should we care about him?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And blacksmiths need to know that. Don't be defending that man, and don't follow them woke pages talking about, oh, he did it with a strategy. No, he didn't. If he did, it was for him. Don't y'all giving that man extra credit that he don't deserve.
Yeah. Now I did watch some of the Drink Champs episode that he was just recently in, and as opposed to some of his other recent stances, he seemed pretty cognizant. He seemed pretty just sane with his interview.
Took his medicine before he went on the show. Got it.
Exactly.
He took his ADHD pills. Got it.
Yeah, so he seemed very sane and put together in terms of his thoughts and whatnot. I only watched about this much of the interview, but and
good for you, because he don't deserve your attention. You smarter than him.
Yeah, I actually would agree with that in a lot of ways, but it's just in an attempt to see like if there is something deeper to this man than the surface level bullshit that we've been seeing as of late. Because I would say the community really bound together in support of him during his outburst 20 years ago, almost, when he came up on stage and was saying that George Bush does not care about black people. You know what I mean? Like, we loved him for that. We praised him. We praised him for his courage in saying something like that on live TV. We praised him for his for standing up for what he believed in. And then I think he later went on that year, or maybe a little bit after that, to go up on stage and take the award out of Taylor Swift's hands and say Beyonce should have got this shit. So we loved him for that, right? We loved him for that. But here's the thing: when you latch on to somebody that is outspoken, you gotta kind of anticipate. Okay, he might be outspoken in some things, but some other things, we might not agree with him on those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't idolize any of these artists,
exactly,
because who knows what you did to get to where you get, and you might have done something that I would never do. Doesn't mean I'm lacking. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. Like, you can't, he snatched that award and I didn't agree with that. But, people like, we love Kanye and Beyonce should have got that. Okay, well, somebody do that shit to him and they a different color. Don't get mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you touched on it perfectly. I think the idolization of celebrities, this shows you the downside to it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, these people are human beings. Human beings. And just because you've reached it to a certain level in your career or in life does not mean that you are better than me, smarter than me, more intellectual than me. A lot of people come across money in some not so great ways. And that don't mean that at the end of the day, it doesn't account for shit in terms of who they are or their business acumen or whatever. A lot of people just run into money. You know what I mean? Just because you got money doesn't mean that you are somebody that we should be looking up to. And that's my biggest thing for our community, the Blacksmiths, to know, particularly the youth. As older adults, we know what's up. I've always known what's up, even when I was a kid. But the youth, they're so impressionable, and they just don't. They're not able to compartmentalize a celebrity from reality. You know what I mean? A lot of the shit that people do in front of the cameras, like we were discussing. Ray J was at this event, and Ray J has been a reality star from the very beginning. You know what I mean?
He's reality star king. He's another one. I would never believe what he said ever in life. I can't even take that man serious. I laugh at everything he says because he don't seem for real.
Now, is that to say that you don't believe the whole sex tape thing, that him and Chris Kardashian had a worked out deal?
Oh no, I believe that they had a worked out deal and all of that, but I don't believe he just went in there completely naive. My thing is you did business. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, especially if you don't look like me. You all lies. I'm just going along with your lies. It don't matter what it's a beautiful day today. Yeah. I'm going along with your lies. So so you did business with this female canine, and y'all know the history of these things. So I don't trust you, dog. I really don't. And he knew, and now when I think about it in retrospect, I do think like part of this was a little publicity thing, because I did see where he was in a lot of the Black media social pages love showing this. This is why I like our media now promoting Bronze Room real fast, because we don't just talk on the celebrityness, we talk about how it affects us as a people, really. So on these Black media pages that I look at, they saturate us with this information of showing us the text messages between Kanye West and Ray J. And Ray J's trying to show that he was trying to tell Kanye, and Kanye's begging. It just all seemed like for a show. I feel like with social media now, they're able to take reality TV to the PC. And so people think that some of these things that they see on the internet is real. And I really feel like, yeah, the contract was real, but I feel like it being brought up again after this happened so many years ago was to promote this whole situation. I even feel like Ray J got a cut of money from that All Lives Matter trick. I'm going to be honest.
That's interesting.
I feel like it's all publicity, and I feel like it was all a connection. I feel like Ray J helped promote that, because it's been a lot going on. And in between there, I mean, I don't know so much what Ray J's doing. I know he has little projects that's going on, but Kanye West has definitely still released some awesome things too, like the little documentary showcase that he had going on Netflix. So I feel like they do these things. They do have a deeper thing behind it, but it's for them. It's not for us. Like to give you an example, and I hate to say this, but I don't idolize anyone. Just like we were saying, compartmentalizing everything. I love Megan Thee Stallion all day as far as her music goes. Now, do I put my hands on my knees and all that shit? Yeah, in my room when I'm by myself. Do I do it on social media and all of that? No. But you sit up here and you have the situation that happened with Tory Lanez, not to digress, and the shit happens. Now, bitch, you was just saying how other bitches is looking at your man, how you don't trust another bitch, put your hands on your knees, fuck these niggas, this and that. But then you get shot and you run with this shit that protect Black women. No, bitch, you a hoe, bitch. Listen to your music, dog.
Okay, so you're saying that there's a contradiction between the message of protect Black women, but the against the music that she's putting out?
Yeah, in general, with these Black celebrities, they run with the message for Black solidarity when they in some shit.
Yeah, 100%.
They do shit. We're the promotion.
You're saying that her music is negative, or are you not in favor of the messaging in her music, is what you're saying?
Listen, her messaging is her messaging. Do what you do. But just know that when you say protect Black women, bitch, I remember all the lyrics that you saying. You dissing other Black women in the lyrics.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Kanye West, same thing with him. Well, he's not dissing other Black men, but what I'm saying is you have your children with this woman. I'm not going to diss Kim Kardashian, but you have your children with this woman. You come out initially when you step on the scene from Chicago as this Black Chicago boy. Y'all forget where y'all come from. Y'all get real bougie. And then you forget about us. But then when some shit happens in the name of Blackness, you want to call on us. So I feel like, he got the all Black lives matter, all white lives matter, because you knew that was going to get Black people's attention, because we're the biggest advertisers of the world. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. I feel like these celebrities, and this is why I really don't. Beyonce does the same thing every time. Bitch, you did, and it's people saying that you didn't even have permission for certain things. I'm not just blaming her, but what I'm saying is she does the same thing. All these Black celebrities do it. They hop out when it's necessary to get that Black solidarity vote, to do whatever they have to do to promote their shit, but they're not living as in this they're not living in this type of form with us. So I know how to separate the shit, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I listen to your music and shit, but bitch, when you talking about protect all Black women, no, ho, I'm gonna protect myself because you ain't giving a damn about Black women. Now, I'm not saying Megan Thee Stallion has done some things to build for our community. They all do their shit for their tax write-off. Oprah does it, you know, but I'm never putting y'all in the category of being a Black leader until you really show me what a Black leader does. You ain't no Black leader. You're a Black celebrity with money, and when it's convenient, you get the Black vote.
Right, there it is.
That's all.
And I think that is the apex of the conversation right now, or it should be, is Black leaders who are in the roles of Black leaders and who shouldn't be in the role of Black leaders. You know what I mean? And yeah, I would say for the most part, anybody in the I'd say this with a grain of salt for now before I have more time to think about it in depth. But I'm just, as a general rule, I think that when you have a person in entertainment, which includes sports, acting, television, film, or music, they don't need to be in the spotlight as a Black leader because there's just too many. There's too many conflicts of interest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And too much. There's too much on the meat. There's too much on the bone there for manipulation. If that person so chooses to do it, like we see with Kanye.
You said that.
We don't know what this brother's. We don't know what his real motives are in doing all this shit.
That's what I'm saying. He could be licking somebody white balls after he finished these interviews, which honestly, I really think he is, but that's just me. Yeah, and that's his choice. But what I'm saying is, you know, people talking about, and y'all not even knowing he got something up his sleeve. Well, good for him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just don't know. So, you know, we need some real leaders who are specific to having a cause for Black success, Black triumph over the circumstances.
Yeah, Black vitality.
You know, all that stuff. Yeah. So solely, you know, they don't have that's not just their night job or their side hustle. You know what I mean? Which is what a lot of these celebrities do.
Yeah, that's their side hustle.
The Black cause is their side hustle. It's not like their main primary focus.
We're always at the expense.
Exactly. So, you know, and we have a couple of leaders in politics right now that are, you know, that I guess we can look for to fit that role of Black leadership.
It's just a damn shame that we don't even, it's sad that you even have to even find the space to even hesitate and say that, you know, and it's, yeah. And you're one of the most intelligent people I know, but even me, ask me who, because I'm sure not gonna say Condoleezza or what's her name. I'm just playing.
Well, some names that come to mind, and you tell me if you're in favor of them or not, even if you aren't really familiar with them. Just what's your initial thought about them, and I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
Cory Booker.
Don't even know who that is.
Okay, my initial thought, he's a senator in New Jersey, I believe. He ran for president in 2016. It didn't go well. Or 20, I think it was 2020. It was 2020. Didn't go well. But yeah, my initial thought of Cory Booker, just face value without digging too much into him, is I'm not really in favor of him. As far as a Black leader, as far as the Black leader, ain't nobody really listening to what Cory Booker has to say. I'm trying to think of other people. Who's that? Who's the senator? She's not a senator. Who's the congresswoman here in California? She's older. She be speaking her mind pretty freely. Her name is
Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters. It's Maxine Waters. Now
she another one though. She go up to the churches when she want to get funded.
Okay. See, I don't know much about
Maxine to the Black Waters, churches.
So I can't say. I don't know. But
okay. That only time I see her ass in the streets is when, look, I saw her. What church was that? It's some church in Gardena, one of the blackest churches you can go to. But her ass show up to that church. You know, they like to show their face and get that offering. She another one. Nope, the haircut alone, the face alone.
I know she's spoken up like in some different incidents that I was like, yeah, speak up on that shit. I like that. But I haven't dug much into anything else outside of those headline moments. So I can't say. But because of I don't see her as feeling that void of Black leadership for
There
us.
is a mayor though. I don't know if he's in Northern California. I could be wrong, or he's in Atlanta or somewhere. He wears an afro. And he's a young brother. Now that's a leader I'm gonna go for. You gotta have an afro.
Look.
He got a real big afro and he wears a
Hey.
suit and tie. I gotta find out who this man is, and this is in 2022. And he's a young brother. He's the mayor of, oh my God, I'm gonna find out.
Major city?
Yes, a major city. Oh my God, maybe it's not Atlanta.
Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott sworn in with fresh fro.
Do you see him?
This is in December of 2020.
Do you see him?
Yeah.
He got an
afro.
Yeah. And he looked like a brother. Like he looked like he'd get out of that tie and maybe roll up one with you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. So that's the kind of leader I'm gonna follow. A Black man or Black woman that look like that's in their authenticity. I don't need you to have no European wig hat on your head when you're trying to lead the community. And honestly, I mean, you ain't got to wear no dashiki or anything like that. But I feel like this is a power move because he has the professionalism with the suit on, but he's showing you, no, look, this my hair and my shit more lined up than your strings. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of leader that I'm going to follow. I'm not following. So when people idolize people like these celebrities, no, Beyonce didn't work. I damn near feel like they done surgically got that wig sewed on Beyonce's head. I'm not following. Ain't nobody going to be my leader and you wearing a wig hat.
Right.
You ain't gonna be. I mean, if you got a nice fade, okay. Like Obama, he had his little fade. He showed his little. But even him, I just feel like there's still a limitation for Black leaders. They're never going to let a Black leader be who they are to their exponential power because it's going to threaten the rest of the world. Just a little side note, and I got to find out the actual scientific notion of it, but Black men have the farthest range of electromagnetic currency than anybody in the world.
Okay.
Even Black women. That means that you're in, and I think it's like 2 miles. I think your electromagnetic currency goes out at least 2 miles.
Okay.
That means your energy can be felt.
Interesting.
Without you even saying a word, literally just the electric vibration that oscillates from your body. So I feel like as a leader, just being powerful there, you're never going to be able to say anything and use a platform that is not meant for you. We have to create our own platform to really have a leader outside of that. We really need a leader that is independent of any system. And that's really hard to do because we're so heavily reliant upon this whole system. Even as far as communication goes, they've literally tapped into every communication. We now have leaders on Instagram who are creating their own websites and their own sites like YouTube and things like that. But it just takes time because those things get interfered with us. So as far as like any Black leaders right now, it's definitely not going to be any politician. Because what can you do in this system? They're gonna put a cap on it for you.
Yeah, definitely. Which is the whole argument that I have against changing the system from the inside out. You know what I mean? You know, I think me, LJ, and our prior host Chris were having a discussion about, it might just be me and LJ, I can't remember, but we were talking about like the two methods of overcoming. You can either get on the bus and try to take over the bus as a passenger. You know what I mean? And eventually work your way to the driver's seat, take over the bus. Or you can get off the bus and get your own bus. You know what I mean? And And I feel like that's definitely some great insight into like whether it's possible to do it from inside the bus. You know what I mean? It comes with a whole another set of rules. You got to drive by the speed limit that bus can go. Whereas opposed to maybe having a bus of your own, you can soup that engine up and take it as fast as you want. You know what I mean? So
It's
you're
going
going
to
to be
take
within the
something
confines.
extreme.
You're going to have to stick to the confines of the rules in whatever bus you're trying to take over, as opposed to making your own bus to get to the destination.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's it's the age old question. You know, like it goes back to the conversation we were having before. Were we better off having our own society, our own segregated economy and all that, or are we better suited to be trying to make it within this system? You know what I mean? And that's a conversation
Tired,
that can go
Chris.
for days and ages.
Yeah.
But every episode we have, we contribute to the consciousness and the overall thought around these issues. You know, which is why the Bronze Room exists in the first place. So I'm glad that we got to touch on these issues today.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna do an impromptu punch or brunch real quick. Punch or brunch. Okay. First, you up first. LJ, why don't we? I'm gonna present it. Why don't you and enjoy? You know, have
Why he do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. So, Joy, you up first.
Oh
LJ,
God.
get your question ready or your answers ready. All right, punch or brunch? Candace Owens or Kanye West? Who you going to brunch with? Who you punching?
Yee.
I think I already know the answers from each of you.
Wait. So
Really?
Yeah. Punch or brunch?
Candace Owens.
Owens, Kanye.
I'm having lunch with Kanye.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is just me being my astrological deep self. Because I know he's a Gemini, and I know he can take direct communication, and he needs to hear a real motherfucking Black woman tell him what the fuck it is.
He hasn't had that in a minute.
And I'm punching the fuck out of that motherfucking widow's peak head ass bitch. And I'm punching her because she knows better as a Black woman. Black women carry an intuitive wisdom of knowing better. And I'm not saying that we know better than men, but I'm saying the reason why it happens is because we carry children. There is an innate knowing that we have to know about certain things, whether you have children or not. And especially a Black woman, we know what we've been through in this world as Black women. We literally lessen ourselves for most of the world. I literally water myself down even for Black men sometimes. So bitch, you step out of here. And then I found LJ was telling us earlier that the reason why the Black community even knew of her. So yeah, I'm punching her and I'm punching that bitch dead in the motherfucking forehead to knock some sense into her stupid ass. All right, that's my punch or brunch.
All right, so quick question. What are you gonna ask Kanye specifically in this brunch? What do you want to talk about specifically? Anything in particular?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with him. I'm gonna ask him why are you like, what's the real reason? And give a real answer. Don't give no stupid ass answer. What's the real reason? And don't try to be Jesus. Don't try to be God. That answer doesn't work. What is the real reason? Because if you yourself cannot even come up with a reason for what you're doing, you're just causing more trauma. And you need somebody to really think. I don't give a fuck if you wanted to go out the other ear. It can't go out. I have a powerful voice. You need to listen to what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You need to really sit and reflect on your actions. Are you projecting? Just because you are a celebrity does not give you the right to use your platform and hurt everybody. Hurt the motherfuckers that hurt you. Don't hurt us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would really have lunch with him and I would just keep it real because a part of it is frustration, and a part of it is just knowing that there's a lot of trauma behind it. But the trauma doesn't excuse the stupidity. Somebody needs to keep it 100. I wouldn't be nice. I'll even pay for lunch though. I'll pay for lunch, but nigga, you getting cussed the fuck out on me. You gonna hear it from a woman from LA. You don't need to hear it from no other bitch. You don't need to hear it from one of those black women with money. Oh no, yay, we get it. No, you need to hear it from somebody who's not doing coke. You need to hear it from somebody who's got a clear mind, who's not about to kiss your ass because they think that you're God. You're not God. You bleed blood. You can die. You're not invincible. You have the same neural pathways as all of us. Get your shit together and let your mother live within you. Let that black woman's strength ride in you and stop acting like your motherfucking weak ass peers, because that's who you acting like right now. You're reflecting that energy. You're not reflecting godlike energy. Godlike energy can be felt. You don't even have to say anything, but you're speaking on a low vibrational language, and that's because you've been around low vibrational beings that don't have the same blood as you. They got that canine blood. You got to stop acting like them canines. I would tell him, look, when your contract end with Chris in 2050, don't renew that shit. I don't know what contract she got with you where she asked you to say this shit, to put these sweatshirts on, to hold this shit, but I need you to get it together. Stop channeling these European women and channel that black queen who gave birth to you.
Damn, he's on contract till 2050.
I don't know. I just feel like this man on some kind of low key, low vibrational contract.
He might be. He might be.
Low vibrational plate.
Real shit.
and it would make sense with what he said. I don't read clearly. Clearly you don't, because you're in some kind of contract with that motherfucking bitch. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but she is a female canine.
Well, goddamn.
Your turn, LJ.
You know how you really feel, bro. Don't hold back. Shit. Well, you know, I am my brother's keeper. So, all in all, I gotta punch Ye.
Oh.
You gotta punch Ye, and you gotta be like, "Hey, my brother, you tripping right now. You know, this is what we really going through. You need to hang out with us a little bit more. You know what I mean? Come back down to where we at, see what's really going on, and see maybe what that shirt really means to people, what that shirt or anything that you're about to do, you know, really is gonna mean to the people. You know, like you could smack somebody up, you know, and you don't have to really be trying to take them off the planet. You know what I mean?
Siblings do that, yeah.
Exactly, and if that really is our brother, then you know that energy gets understood. I'm only coming at you this way because I love you for real. I don't want you to destroy yourself, and I don't want to have to turn away from you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm punching it. He deserves that. You know, everybody deserves their licks. You feel me? No matter what. You feel me? So he's getting punched. Now, come on, man. You think I'm not gonna take this black woman to brunch?
You're so sweet.
Taking her to brunch. We sitting down. You know, I'm gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? She probably got expensive taste, so it's gonna cost. You know, we're gonna be able to chop it up. You know what I mean? And we're gonna be in a place that's nothing but black people. So that way, you feel that in the type of environment that she might be used to with the motherfuckers. You feel me? Maybe I take her over to the gathering spot, kick it one time. You know, get the mimosas popping a little bit. Hey, listen, Candace, this is a place where we can be ourselves. You probably ain't been over nothing like this. You know, I don't know what you've been doing, but let's talk about what's going on. You know, I know you got the thing with her is she is educated enough to have like she got like analytics and stats associated with a lot of her major viewpoints. That's cool, you know, but there's two sides to everything. You know what I mean? I don't believe in just being firm on numbers. You can't just say that these numbers dictate this one thing. There's intangibles with everything. You know what I mean? There's intangibles within context of all things. And some things aren't explained by a scientific a scientific formula. You know what I'm saying? So with that, there's certain things that we got to understand that have nothing to do with what the stats may say. We may have an example, the worst schools in our neighborhoods by numbers, but maybe we not allowed to take into account that when we made that when we voted for this measure 4 years ago, it was gonna push money away from this funding that ended up going over here that got people some jobs, but then in the aftermath of it, most of the people that they hired at that job don't even live in the community that these people's kids have to suffer for it. These are like real things, you know, that we don't see all the time because we're not looking into the future of things when we voting, you know, and a lot of shit comes down to voting, in my opinion, when it comes to like how our structure is, but we get manipulated on what's really going on, so we don't understand how these funds are going to get allocated. So that shit happens. So in that one example, I'm just saying there's a space for all of us to understand the numbers and then how these choices affect our communities for real, and how like these numbers are really a byproduct of something else.
Right,
So
right.
I would sit with her and I would chop it up with her about that, and I would try to get her perspective on it. You know what I mean? And then that would really be it. You know, we probably gonna get so drunk, we're gonna be real free to say what we want to say. And I'd be like, listen, shorty, you are tripping. Like, when was the last time you been with a black dude? Like, your whole swag is off.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, she got a white husband. So
it's like your whole swag is like,
oh yeah,
defensive.
it's hijacked.
It's like defensive, like, you know, like Karen shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she just happened to be in her skin, but it's like, how did I would also want to know, how did this happen? Like, how did you
like did somebody that looked like us hurt you in a way?
Yeah.
So maybe
like,
you can have that conversation after I punched her.
There it is. It would be like, after we drink the mimosas down, I'm gonna take you to the hospital because you need to get that.
That's a good perspective. It is always good to understand someone's perspective and ask her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you have lunch with her, you know, I mean, you can't hit her. That's why I'm gonna do it.
That part too. That part too.
But yeah, it's true, because like what you said, there are certain numbers that affect certain things, you know, and maybe people's intentions aren't always what we think they are. So we do have to get a perspective on maybe why. Okay, maybe you had a real reason for doing this, but I want to know why. Yeah.
Yeah, and then even when you tell me what it is, I gotta tell you, I got a responsibility to tell you why that was whack.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? That'd be the other part of it, because now it's my responsibility to put you on game.
Yeah.
If I don't do that, then I'm really at a disadvantage, because now you're gonna keep walking in that direction, you know. But if I tell you and you choose to walk in that direction, then now I know how to deal with you. Feel me?
Right.
Like
right.
Fool. And that's okay, because you know, foolish choices come with major consequences.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be associated with that shit if I feel like I already chopped it up with you about this shit.
You did your part.
Right.
You know, accountability is key.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
With that said, I hope y'all always check me on some shit when I'm getting out of pocket.
Likewise.
Y'all can check me too, but y'all know I ain't got no problem getting checked or checking.
Right.
I know you ready to check back.
No, but I'm open to. I want my fellow brethren or sister to say, "Yo, Joy, what's wrong with you?" Or "Why did you say that?" Even if I'm speaking here and I misspeak and you feel like, "Yo, sis, I want to check you," because listen, you got to keep in mind, like, I know when I say certain things as viewers and certain people might run with things, you know what I'm saying? But I would always want you guys to check me and be like, look, sis, is that how you really feel? You know, what people should be doing with, what's that? The two.
Kanye and Candace.
So Chris, who I want to know, especially because you a Gemini and you know, like your brethren Kanye, y'all's unpredictable, and I don't know, you be saying some shit that be, I don't know. So who would you punch and who would you brunch? And it's okay to punch Candace if you want.
Is it cool? Like, I'm not gonna. Y'all, are you sure?
I'm okay with it.
Nah, Kanye is gonna have to see these hands. Like,
Yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised.
Are you really? Nah, he is.
No.
Because he says some shit that's just like so frustrating. I think because Candace Owens has always been that figure of like, yeah, she with the shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
she's always been that. But because I feel backstabbed by Kanye, because he was supposed to be about the community, he came out talking about just shit that Black people really resonated with. His first couple of albums, he was talking about shit that was really relevant to our community. And then it seemed like this dude's just a sellout now. You know what I mean? And I'm he's getting punched for sure. You know what I mean?
He said hands, so that's more than a punch.
Yeah, he's getting a couple. Really. Yeah. He really upset me with that slavery shit. Like, one thing with me is like, man, it's hard for me to like I get like this question has been posed a couple times, like look where we at in America, you know what I mean? If the slaves hadn't gone through all that shit, we wouldn't be here. And like, I would never like justify the enslavement of my ancestors. But
that's not true. That's like you saying, well, if I didn't go outside, I wouldn't have made it to. I wouldn't have learned nothing. I wouldn't have read nothing. Like, what do you? Not
right.
You know
we would have still.
That's bullshit. We would have been on Pluto right now.
We are, but even at a more elevated level. Like,
yeah, we had indoor plumbing.
We look at them as, but even greater.
So I got a real problem with just dissing the ancestors, man. Like, I really do. I really do. So he gonna get punched for not only me, but for my grandpa, my great grandpa,
right? The whole family, right? Look, this is family business, like his song said.
Family business. Like,
let's take it back.
I'm gonna pop a mud hole in his ass for real. Like, I'm very
because that's what family do, right? You got, like LJ was saying, you got to pop your siblings up. Hey, what are you doing? Ain't nobody doing that to him because they not his real family.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Where his family? Where is it? Where are they at? And then another thing I'll be thinking about is, his pops has recently was someone that he connected to that White Lives Matter shirt, and he talked about how his pops responded. I remember a long time where Kanye talked about his pops not really being around and his mom having to take care of him. Right. So where's your family? Where else is the rest of your family? And how are they feeling about it? Maybe they around and maybe, we just don't see them or whatever. But I would like to know that personally. Just as somebody who's grown up, knowing this person, as an entertainer and everything.
Like, where are the real ones who don't care about the money that you have, that are not afraid to say something? We need people who can say something to you because you're not paying their bills.
Exactly.
That's what we need. We need somebody. We know Candace, clearly she must have had some trauma with some Black men because she got a Black husband. That's the thing. They both got their commonality too. You know what I'm saying? Their spouses. And I'm not dissing that. What'd you say?
She got Black parents,
No. To my knowledge, she has Black parents. She has a white husband.
Yeah.
White husband, Black parents, I believe. But yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Sorry, Chris.
I mean, hey,
I think I'm gonna say this. I don't think there's nothing wrong with who your parents are. You can't choose them, but however your parents are, their POV and their biases on other people are gonna be yours, and they're gonna be yours. Have y'all seen the Kaepernick documentary that was on Netflix?
I didn't see it. I thought it was on Apple TV or something.
He has a series on Apple TV. Produced it, but in that they showed that Colin is adopted. He's Black and he has two white parents, so he grows up getting a suburban middle class white experience as a Black kid. And he has like an authentic experience because it's not like he met his parents and then something tragic happened that he, could see. And then he was like raised by these people. So as he was getting older and his race started to be a part of his profile, it you see the changes that had in his experience.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then he started to see it. And this is all in the documentary. You know, it's like a docu-series, so it's actors and shit.
Mm.
But if he had black parents, you already get that training early. This is what's
Mhm.
going on.
You got to just warn your baby just in case something is going to happen to your child unjustly. Yeah.
Facts. And we get that training early, you know.
Yeah.
We don't even know that it's training. That's just how it is. That's just how our parents are. You know, and I even think when we become parents, that's how we'll be. You know what I mean? Because the system is the system. This is what we're born into.
Yeah.
You know? But if she didn't have if both her parents not black, I think that in a way, like Colin Kaepernick, would affect her experience. You know, that's why I asked, and I don't know.
Or if they were bootlickers.
Yeah, I'm not sure that very well could be the reality.
Where did you adopt like Colin Kaepernick?
You know, that's a great question. I'm looking at it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's different experiences. My experience for not, you know, I've had friends, they're like, "Ooh, you're racist," or "If only white people knew what you say." But I'm like, the thing is that people can say what they want to say, but as a light-skinned woman, I've actually been through a lot of racism. I experienced my first racism in second grade. The teacher actually got fired because she mistreated me. She balled up my homework. She sat me in the back of the class. She called my mom. My mom had to have a lot of meetings. This was a private Christian school on top of that, but I was literally the only black girl in the class. And she admitted that she had a problem with that. And that's why they fired her. And I knew from then, I was like, as a little girl, that shapes your mind before the age of 8. I was like, oh, I'll never trust these people. Because here, this big, fluffy white woman was supposed to be my teacher, and she's making everybody else laugh and happy, but she's treating me like this. So from then, I think that just changed my dynamic. So maybe even not necessarily having, because my mom taught me things, but I feel like it was my experiences where I was mistreated by people who did not look like me. I got spit in the face by a white girl before. Had to take medicine for a whole year because she had tuberculosis.
Wait, white
I was spit in the face. I got spit in the face.
How do you get spit in the face
because we were fighting? Because we were fighting and she spit. And her parents were racist too. And she was sick. She had tuberculosis, had to go to the hospital, literally took medicine for a whole year. I had to be administered. I had to take it every single day so that I would not contract this as a permanent thing in my blood, you know. But even now, when I take the test, it shows up positive. I never, you know, all because in my face. So I think it's not even just experiences. So maybe she had the opposite experience, because I'm not even trying to be funny, but I know a lot of dark-skinned children growing up. I saw some of my dark-skinned friends get teased. Maybe she got teased by light-skinned girls. Maybe she got bullied by black women or black men or something. It's something that doesn't sit with her, that she doesn't resonate with black people.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you can't excuse that shit. I won't excuse that shit. I mean, there's plenty of people, racist white folk in the South, who don't like black people just because they think that black people are taking all their jobs. Does that justify them being ignorant and racist? Hell no.
Is that what you're telling Candace at lunch? Is that what you're gonna tell her?
1,000%. 1,000%. You know what I mean? Like I like a lot of Candace Owens' points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She but the way that she does it alludes to me thinking that she is paid by some white men at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because she'll go on like Fox News and say all these stats. Like, okay, if you're telling me about my community, right? And how the major issues within our community, for sure. Let's have that conversation. Let's have it amongst ourselves. As soon as you go to a platform, all that shit, it seems like you're not trying to help the community. You're just trying to condemn them. And here's the statistics that show like, because Fox News is mainly watched by older white right-wing people. You presenting all these
and that
about
whole
our
network
community is only going to stoke fear in that community towards my people. All right, so it's not. So you're not saying these things in the platform that's going to be edifying us. You're speaking it you're speaking these stats to a group of people that are going to use that information to turn it against us. And that's my biggest criticism of her. You don't see her on any other media. You don't see her on any other media platforms besides Fox News. So you're talking. Your audience is not us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Coon.
Exactly. That was my whole point with the white light. Like, your audience, you're not doing this for us. Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Right. And us intelligent people who've seen the history repeat, who actually look and who really do give a damn about the community, see that. And that's where the anger comes from. Yeah. Good punch or brunch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have brunch with her, but I might jump across the table. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Give her a little.
I might.
Chris, she might honestly, what she really need. Listen, she got a white husband.
What she said, Joy.
Maybe you can punch her in a different way.
She might need to be reprogrammed.
Exactly.
I've been looking for pictures online. Candace Owens' parents. Nothing comes up.
So I looked it up on Wikipedia. She was raised by her grandparents, her grandfather in particular, who is a black man. Okay. She's partially Caribbean. Her grandmother is from St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. Mm-hmm. So she was raised around her people. Now what kind of people those were, I don't know. But
yeah, something happened. Yeah,
well, see, we gotta get that brunch cracking and we can find out. The Bronze Room Brunch.
Right, Bronze Room Brunch, for real.
Hey, you know what? We should have an event like that where we could just have brunch with our with the guests. We should have something. Yeah, we should have something like that for sure.
I agree.
We should definitely have something like that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Sunday brunch. Ooh.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Y'all look at us revolutionizing while we helping our blacksmiths.
Yeah. If you know Candace Owens, tap in with her. Tell her to tap in with the Bronze Room.
Yeah, because I know she.
Yeah, I won't punch her on the show. We could talk. Because look, I'm solid behind everything I say. Maybe these people don't talk to enough solid people.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's
like y'all need some solid people. I'm a person that don't give a damn if you're a celebrity. We live in LA, so we really don't give a damn about celebrities. We see them all the time, and they shorter than me, half of them. I'm like, damn nigga, that's your height. Okay, I can rock you in my arms.
One time for the short niggas, man. Don't let somebody like Joy get you down, man. It's like,
listen here, let me tell you something. It is nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, you would think that these people stand 20 feet tall the way people idolize them. And then you look at them and you like, oh, you're a regular human like me. I can rock you in my arms. You know what I'm saying? I'm taller than most of the, you know how they put people on how they call Sierra a man and stuff, which she's beautiful in person. But they'll probably call me a man.
Models are like tall. Like models are like supermodels. They like pretty tall.
Supermodels are supposed to be tall, yeah.
Yeah, but most of these celebrities not. Like, I'm sure Kanye West and Candace Owens, I'm sure I could hold both of them on my lap.
I don't know.
Your lap is crazy.
But Bronze Room Brunch sounds bomb as hell.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that all day. We definitely are gonna.
Blacksmiths, y'all need to be in tune with these intelligent black men that are bringing forth good information and good energy. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need to bring. We need more voices like ours to the forefront. I don't give a damn about a celebrity status. I don't want to be a celebrity. I just want to be there for my community. Right. So it doesn't matter in any way, even if it's in this context.
Yeah.
You know.
You're here now. All the blacksmiths, tap in with us. You know, find us on IG. Tap in with us. Let's get it started. If you want to do something like this, For real, a real brunch, you want to do that, you want to meet us, you want to have some real in-depth convo that we can move on, let us know. We'll put it together.
Yeah. Get at us on IG. It's _Bronze Room at _Bronze Room.
The Bronze Room.
There it is.
Okay.
We're gonna come out with an original intro song very
Okay.
soon. Y'all wait on that.
We're using that until we find something better.
Huh?
Yeah.
So all right, that brings us into our closing segment, vibe of the week. Joy, what you got for vibe of the week? You want to take it first?
Yeah, I want to talk about the vibe of the week, y'all. So y'all, my vibe of the week, what I was telling Chris and LGZ is that lately I've been finding that the quality of my sleep has actually improved by sleeping nude.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, and let me tell you, I used to have a whole pajama set to sleep in. Pajama sets are cool, but it really is. And I've actually read this in a book that I was studying for Eastern medicine. One of the natural ways to actually heal your body is to sleep nude. One of the reasons why this is because our body is porous. So this, which means we have holes in our body for air. Not only does this allow air, but this allows other nutrients, micronutrients into our body, micro elements. And I feel like with our pores being open at nighttime, I'm sure that we're also able to release toxins that we don't need. So, during the day, when we eat, when we walk through the day, our cells all have their own little miniature trash cans, and they release these things. So a lot of how we're able to rejuvenate is at nighttime when we're asleep. So sleeping nude really is good for your health. I hope that I think that it definitely helps level out the amount of melatonin that's released into the body, and you're able to sleep in your skin. Like, I don't know if y'all notice, but when you sleep naked, you don't really be cold as long as you stay under the covers. Even in wintertime, like sometimes I got to come out my cover because my body is sweating. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sleeping in the nude, if you've never considered it before, please, it really is such a vibe. Like, I'd be happy. I'd be like, oh, and it's longer to do laundry day because I ain't wasting clothes sleeping in them.
Right. Hey, I'm with that vibe of the week. Hell yeah. I like
sleep
that.
nude. It's good for your health.
Thank you for
that. And it feels sexy too, but it really does feel good. It feels so good.
Feeling myself at night.
Right. I mean, sometimes I can take it there, but look.
That's what's up. I really like that. I sleep in the nude. And honestly, it was an ex who put me on game. And ever since then, I've been sleeping so much better. Like ever since. I've really thanked God for that relationship because she put me on game on a lot of different levels in terms of health and everything.
Okay.
So
sleeping in the nude, so
I resonate with that.
Yeah,
100%. The only issue, like we talked about not too long ago, is if it's an emergency, you're gonna be fighting a robber in the nude.
At least all you got to do is slip on some shorts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
true. But you're right.
Yeah,
Mr. Man gonna be hanging out.
Right. If it's a fire or earthquake or whatever, you got to evacuate. You might be out there.
Right. Literally.
But yeah, I like that. My personal vibe of the week for this week is journaling. I think I might have touched on this before in the past, but damn it, it's a vibe of the week again for me. Y'all, if you guys are blacksmiths, you already know I'm a God-fearing man, and so just tracking back in my journal years and years ago to a specific entry really put a lot of stuff in perspective because everything has come full circle in a certain situation that means a lot to me on a personal level, and just getting to read my thoughts and my concerns, my worries, my fears at that time. it is a real reminder of the place that I once was in life, and how those situations have turned around so drastically today. It is just it's just a credence, and it's a credence to God. You know what I
And
mean?
it's powerful.
And it's
Yeah.
powerful just to, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have memories of like, oh, a certain place that we used to be. But when you read your words, the exact type of feelings that were going through your mind and heart, um, it really just, it makes it real. It brings you right back to that place. And then when you realize that you are no longer there, you're just so grateful for the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't discount the journey. I know we all got our destinations in life and everything, but you learn so much, you pick up so much on along the way, that the journey is well worth it. It's well worth it after coming to the destination.
Wow.
You know,
I love
so
that, Chris. And you know what's so funny as you were saying that, it brought joy to me because I can see you tapped into that. I know that that's a safe place for you, and I love that you shared that. You did share it. You touched on it briefly last time. I just feel like it's really amazing to hear a Black man writing and to share that. I love that you're sharing that with the blacksmiths, because that really does put forth a different kind of power that actually literally places power in your hands in a different way,
yeah,
and your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's syncing and coordinating those two things, and then you can see where you can grow. And I feel like it does make you a better communicator as well. So I think that's really powerful that you as a Black man even do that. I love that.
yeah. You know, I'll be channeling my Doug Funny, journaling.
Dear diary.
Right. Doug Funny, that was my dog back in the
Yeah,
day.
me
So,
too, Loki.
you know,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think in general, men have an issue with expression, or at least having an outlet for expression, particularly in terms of emotions of frustration or anger. You know what I mean? Outside of just physically, you know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
we could physically
Mm-hmm.
get down and all that, and get it out that way. But in terms of just verbally or intellectually getting
Yeah,
frustrations out, that can sometimes be stunted because there's a stigma behind male anger. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And so,
Clearing
uh,
that energy
you know,
out.
clearing that energy
Yeah,
out, having a positive outlet for it, you know what I mean,
yeah,
is important. You know what I mean? So I encourage all my blacksmiths to find that outlet, whether it's a journal, whether it's therapy, whether it's hitting the gym more, whether it's doing something that can be constructive. A lot of our anger as men gets channeled into destructive methods and outlets. But once we can channel that into something positive, uh, your life will be better, and the
yeah.
community as a whole will be better.
I agree. That's a motherfucking vibe. That is a
Yeah,
vibe. Y'all journal, blacksmiths.
please
Black
do,
women too.
please,
Journal. It's a way to
please.
clear your thoughts. It's a way to declutter it. If you feel like you're a creative as well and you have a writer's block, a lot of times the reason why we have creative blocks or any kind of block in thinking is because sometimes we just need to write it out.
Right,
So
right,
write out
right.
those frustrations. It might even help you, like Chris was saying, reflect back and be like, whoa, I grew, or maybe I would have handled this in a different way, or damn, I did that. I was going through this when I went through this. And you might figure out a different channel than what you even wrote down. So
Yeah,
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 I love
one
that.
hundred percent, 100%. I'm so happy to have gotten a chance to come into the Bronze Room again today. This platform is such a blessing, not only for myself, but I'm hoping that it's a blessing for the audience, for the blacksmiths. I hope you guys get something from this every episode. We try to bring our authentic selves to this platform each and every single time, and
Yes.
yeah, we be on the lookout for that brunch room. I'm sorry, that Bronze Room Brunch.
Yay!
Be on the lookout for that. But yeah. Joy, you got any last words? Any last
Yeah.
thoughts?
I love y'all. I love y'all, blacksmiths. Thank you for always tuning in, always supporting. It's just to pay it forward. We're supporting you. We are a community. I love you guys. I love my co-hosts and everyone here. Thank you for showing up and being you. We are always going to show up and be ourselves. And that's
100%.
what I got.
100%. Thank you, Blacksmiths out there. This has been another episode of the Bronze Room.